Really though, but really though. Oh. Hey Stacy, how you doing? It is man, I'm trying really hard not to just like look at the news. It is a shit show out there. Fucking Elon Musk. I can't look as dead-eyed as he does though. Like, how do I look like how do I have my eyes completely open and yet just all you see is the pupils? I don't know how he does that. Yeah. I mean, like,
Out of that remarkable scene at the White House just a short time ago, Elon Musk standing in the Oval Office, President Trump sitting behind the Resolute desk, and it was Elon Musk who held court for more than a half an hour. How Musk describes what it is the Trump White House is doing, defending his access to at least 15 government agencies and counting. Elon Musk was asked if he's being transparent, if he's policing himself, and if there's a conflict of interest given Musk's own company has contracts with the Pentagon. Our
oh,
Rachel
Michigan is
Scott
undergoing a
asking many of the
blizzard.
questions.
Oh, that's that.
Tonight, an extraordinary scene
In a
playing out in the
baseball
Oval
cap.
Office. President Trump sitting at the Resolute desk, and standing next to him, Elon Musk and his young son, holding court for roughly a half an hour.
Your detractors, Mr. Musk,
What?
including a lot of Democrats.
You see, you like getting that light? Ah. Ugh. 5, 6 inches of snow. Jesus. More on
I have
Saturday.
detractors?
You do, sir.
I don't.
I. You know what? I can't. I can't. I can't. I can't with this. I can't with this bullshit. You know. Hey, Epiphany, how you doing? Yeah. It's pretty awful. It's pretty terrible. I hate it. I hate it. I didn't want it. I didn't vote for it. I voted against it. As far as I'm concerned, everyone can kiss my ass. I was right. They were wrong. How's the day treating you? Well, today is actually pretty good. Some of the individual minutes were pretty lousy, but overall, pretty good. Overall, good. You know, just trying to ignore this. You know, fucking Elon Musk, like just like being in the Oval Office. Oh, fuck you, dude. With his son, I'm like that kid is only so much of a bulletproof shield. I mean, seriously, come on, dude. You know, I want to go. I want one of these reporters to go, "Hey, Elon, your kid's still trans." Hey, Elon, None of your wives like you. Hey, Elon, why don't you sit the fuck down? We're here to talk to the president. Although, given who the president is, not much of a step up, but, you know, at least they voted for the guy. Why don't you sit your ass down? Why don't you sit your fucking immigrant ass down? You know. This is as close as you will ever be to being the president. We will never call you the president. You will never wield that much power, ever. Go away. You know, I want them all to die. I'm sick of the bullshit that they spew. I'm sick of this. I don't even know what to call it. I know what it is. It's bullshit corporate fascism, is what it is. I predicted America would be taken over by a corporation. I just thought, you know, we'd vote that guy in. You know what I mean? I wish death. I wish death. You know, I do. I do. You know. I mean, the grand total of my ability to do anything about it comes down to die. You know, but, whatever. I'm going to dip my biscuit in my coffee and take a bite. Oh, I think MAGA predicted it. What do they want? Yeah, it's brain rot. It's bullshit and it's bad for you. You know. Yeah, the whole thing is just bad. Can't let women have rights. Can't let nobody have rights, but this, like, we can't let American citizens have rights, but this motherfucker, he can have all the rights. Ah, fuck him. Oh. I wonder what the big real thing is going to be. Because it's going to happen. It's going to be bad. Tell you one thing, pendulum's going to swing hard against corporate rule. It's going to swing hard against corporate rule because they're going to be the ones responsible and everyone's going to know it. And so now they're going to get blamed for everything, just like, you know, the government does. That's going to get weird. You know, because at that point it's going to be like, no, they're supposed to do what I said because I said it. And everyone's going to be like, no, not really. We don't really, actually, you know. You know, when's that Nazi flag going to come out? Because I'm like, it's gonna. You know, I've already seen like some places where they do it. Like, yeah, I'm a Nazi. Yeah.
Believe it.
Say that you're
Oh.
orchestrating a hostile takeover of government
Oh,
and doing it in a
hair.
non-transparent way. What's your response to
I
that?
got a hair.
Well, first of all, you couldn't ask for a stronger mandate from the public.
Yeah,
the
it could.
Public voted.
Look at this fucking idiot smiling over
we
here.
have a majority of the public voting for President Trump. We won the House. We won the Senate.
I'm nice bitch.
The people
I'm the
voted
best. I'm Trump.
for
I'm
major
Elon
government
Musk.
reform.
I'm wearing a hat.
And a lot of
I'm
times,
wearing a hat.
people that don't get what they voted for, but in this presidency, they are going to get what they voted for. And that's what democracy is all about.
Musk, the world's richest man with billions of dollars in federal contracts, has been given enormous power. His Department of Government Efficiency
Wondering when
already
Handmaid's Tale is
accessing
going to
at
happen?
least
Pretty
15
soon, I
agencies.
think.
Mr. Musk, the White House says that you will identify and excuse yourself from any conflicts of interest that you may have. Does that mean that you are...
Oh, God. No, I need one of these. I need one of these, like, reporters to actually, like, pull a Hunter S. Thompson. Like, pull a genuine Hunter S. Thompson. Like, Mr. Musk, what are these reports that you're actually really into what is known as chicks with dicks? And do you think that that is the same as people being trans? Is chicks with dicks the same as being trans? Do you think that that's the same, sir? You know, I would love that. You know, do you really think this is responsible journalism? No, sir. I'm here to make you look like an idiot. Just answer the question, sir. Just answer the question. Have you stopped beating off to trans porn yet, sir? Like, or do you think that that's going to be something that's going to be with you always? How do you feel, sir, that Mr. Elon Musk is seen as more of a president than you are? You know, according to the latest poll. Well, what poll is that? Oh, you know, the latest one. You probably haven't had time to hear about it. It just happened. Well, it says here that 53% of people think that Elon Musk is the president, not you. How do you feel? How do you feel about that, sir? You know. Oh, I hate these morons. You know what? Yeah, this is basically our Brexit. Like, this is our Brexit. This is our Brexit vote, to be really honest. Let's... No. Oh, come on. I want to hear an interview. Ah!
I, Lloyd White. right, being the acting returning officer for the election of a Member of Parliament for the Uxbridge and South Ruislip constituency, do hereby give notice that the number of votes recorded for each candidate is as follows. Harvey Jonathan David, commonly known as Count Binface, Independent, 69. Hughes David Stephen, commonly known as Lord Buckethead, the official Monster Raving Loony Party, 125. Burke Norma, Independent.
I'm trying to get across the idea that if Alexander Boris de Pfeffel Johnson wasn't quite so rich and aristocratic, he'd be totally working class.
22. Johnson Alexander Boris de Pfeffel, commonly known as Boris Johnson, the Conservative Party candidate, 25,000.
I think the consensus this evening is, of course, that more money needs to be spent on all those areas: health, social care, policing. The question is, how do you do it? One of my suggestions, which I think may be shared by many on the panel, is with regard to Trident, which hasn't come up yet this evening, the nuclear weapon system. I would make an absolutely cast iron firm commitment to build the 1 billion, what is it, 100 billion Trident weapon system. But then I would make an equally firm private commitment, after that public commitment to build it, a private commitment not to build it. Because they're secret submarines, so no one will ever know. Win-win, 100 billion quid, shove it in the health service.
My name is Count Binface, intergalactic space warrior and a parliamentary candidate for the constituency of Richmond and Northallerton at the 2024 general election.
Among the more than 4,500 candidates standing in Britain's general election are also those who are simply making fun of the whole thing. Like this man with a trash can on his head.
That's right, under the British system, I get to stand against Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. It's brilliant.
Count Binface, aka comedian Jonathan Harvey, is a familiar face or helmet at UK elections. He has stood against two former prime ministers, Theresa May in 2017 and Boris Johnson in 2019. Here are some of his eye-catching pledges to voters.
I will price cap all croissants at £1.10 and ensure that 99 flake ice creams cost 99p. I pledge to build at least one affordable house, which is more than the other parties can muster between them. I pledge that all water bosses should be forced to swim in British rivers to see how they like it.
But behind the jokes, Binface has a serious message.
I urge everyone, no matter who you support, do go out to vote. And most importantly, make your votes count. There we go.
And vote for me, Lord Binface. Oh, man. Yeah, he does look like a character from Red Dwarf, doesn't he? You know? Maybe that's one of the things I like about him. You know? Man, I had an old friend of mine admit that he had never actually seen Red Dwarf, and I was like, what? What? Like, I'm watching it now, and I'm like, good. I mean, like, no one over the age of 30 should have not seen Red Dwarf. For heaven's sake, mankind. Fucking pry people's eyes and play it like Clockwork Orange. I don't know how you can have not seen Red Dwarf. I really don't. I really don't. It's a mystery to me. Hey, Barry, how you doing? Yeah, we're just going to shoot shit for a little bit, I think. Because I really have nothing to report. I've just seen clips of it. Are you over 30? Then no excuse. I don't know what your age is, but if it's over 30, no excuse. Yeah, Red Dwarf is pretty good. It's cold outside. There's no kind of atmosphere. I'm all alone, more or less. Oh, it doesn't have the holly. There's got to be one that actually has, like, one of the intros. All holly intros. Here we go.
This is an SOS distress call from the mining ship Red Dwarf. The crew are dead, killed by a radiation leak. The only survivors were Dave Lister, who was in suspended animation during the disaster, and his pregnant cat, who was safely sealed in the hold. Revived 3 million years later, Lister's only companions are a life form who evolved from his cat and Arnold Rimmer, a hologram simulation of one of the dead crew. I am Holly, the ship's computer, with an IQ of 6,000, the same IQ as 6,000 PE teachers. This is an SOS distress call from the mining ship Red Dwarf. The crew are dead, killed by a radiation leak. The only survivors were Dave Lister, who was in suspended animation during the disaster, and his pregnant cat, who was safely sealed in the hold. Revived 3 million years later, Lister's only companions are a life form who evolved from his cat and Arnold Rimmer, a hologram simulation of one of the dead crew. In the 3 million years we've been away, it is my fond hope that mankind has abolished war, cured all disease, and got rid of those little Western saloon doors you get in trendy clothes shops. This is an SOS distress call from the mining ship Red Dwarf. The crew are dead, killed by a radiation leak. The only survivors were Dave Lister, who was in suspended animation during the disaster, and his pregnant cat, who was safely sealed in the hold. Revived 3 million years later, Lister's only companions are a life form who evolved from his cat and Arnold Rimmer, a hologram simulation of one of the dead crew. The most interesting event that happened recently was that Lister pretended he'd passed the chef's exam, although really he failed. That gives you some idea of how truly exciting some days can be around here. This is an SOS distress call from the mining ship Red Dwarf. The crew are dead, killed by a radiation leak. The only survivors were Dave Lister, who was in suspended animation during the disaster, and his pregnant cat, who was safely sealed in the hold. Revived 3 million years later, Lister's only companions are a life form who evolved from his cat and Arnold Rimmer, a hologram simulation of one of the dead crew. We have been travelling through the galaxy now for 3 million years, and there are many things we've discovered. The highest form of life in the universe is man, and the lowest is a man who works for the post office. This is an SOS distress call from the mining ship Red Dwarf. The crew are dead, killed by a radiation leak. The only survivors were Dave Lister, who was in suspended animation during the disaster, and his pregnant cat, who was safely sealed in the hold. Revived 3 million years later, Lister's only companions are a life form who evolved from his cat and Arnold Rimmer, a hologram simulation of one of the dead crew. We have enough food to last 30,000 years, but we've only got one after 8 mint left. And everyone's too polite to take it. 3 million years from Earth, the mining ship Red Dwarf. Its crew, Dave Lister, the last human being alive. Arnold Rimmer, a hologram of his dead bunkmate. And a creature who evolved from the ship's cat. Message out. Additional. As the days go by, we face the increasing inevitability that we are alone in a godless, uninhabited, hostile and meaningless universe. Still, you've got to laugh, haven't you? 3 million years from Earth, the mining ship Red Dwarf. Its crew, Dave Lister, the last human being alive. Arnold Rimmer, a hologram of his dead bunkmate. And a creature who evolved from the ship's cat. Message out. Additional. Loneliness weighs heavily on us all. Personally, the only thing that keeps me going is the thought that we are over 60 billion miles away from the nearest Bernie Inn. 3 million years from Earth, the mining ship Red Dwarf. Its crew, Dave Lister, the last human being alive. Arnold Rimmer, a hologram of his dead bunkmate. And a creature who evolved from the ship's cat. Message out. Additional. Supplies are plentiful. We have enough food and drink to last 30,000 years. Although we have run out of shake and vac.
Flying monkeys are watching. That's true. That's true. Flying monkeys are watching. Gotta be careful. That BBC, man. That BBC could come and get us. Oh, man. Thinking a lot about, like, what was so great about Red Dwarf, or, like, the science fiction of the 80s and 90s. You know, like, I know a lot of it's nostalgia, you know, for me. A lot of it's nostalgia for me. But I've actually begun to examine nostalgia. Not just the individual, like, you know, pieces of it, but, like, you know, the concept as a whole. Like, what does it do? Why do we have it? You know, is it a good thing? If it is, is it always a good thing? If it is, when it's bad, when is it a bad thing? How do you know? Like that kind of thing. Hey, kitty. Dang cat. Cat is kittying around. You know, because when you deal in entertainment, you're often dealing in nostalgia. And there's something kind of neat about it, because you can use it to instill a sense of familiarity when one might not exist otherwise. You know, like, for example, the new Fantastic Four movie the trailer plays a lot on nostalgia to get you to buy into this really dopey premise, you know, because let's be honest, Fantastic Four is incredibly dated. It's incredibly dated. It's kind of hokey. It's kind of dumb. You know, it's basically fucking, in many ways, it's basically Father Knows Best with superpowers. And that's pretty much kind of it. You know, that's kind of the thing. You know, it's why, like, it's been so hard to bring to a modern audience, you know, because, like, you look at it and you're like, yeah, this doesn't really jive. But actually playing on the nostalgia and making it look like the 60s and using, like, Gucci architecture and all that, you know, that Jetsons kind of look to it. They're actually able to get people to buy in, you know, and just basically say, like, hey, don't you remember this, right? We're not going to pretend that we're not going to do a modern retelling. I mean, we are going to do a modern retelling, but, like, we're not going to try to cram them into the 21st century. Like, that probably wouldn't work really well. Yeah, it's so outdated. It's set in an alternate universe of the MCU, you know? You know, for that matter, like, yeah, we'll see what they do. Yeah. I'm glad they decided to embrace the goofy too, because I think it's needed. But I was thinking about modern science fiction and how so much of past science fiction feels very relevant, but so much of modern science fiction kind of doesn't. And I know a lot of that's going to have to do with my age and my own nostalgia, but, like, yeah, I've just been noticing it. Just been thinking about it. You know, because, like, we don't think about the future too much anymore. You know, we don't have a very good, and by that good, I mean both positive and clear picture of what the future could be. You know, everything about science fiction other than the technology kind of came to pass, and so, like, we've kind of run out the clock on that, you know. But I think that that's kind of understandable. Video games got a lot of the same stuff going on, you know, because, like, we're not looking towards the future anymore. That's not where video games are headed, by and large. And the only thing I can think of is just envisioning more fantastic worlds, you know, because more fantastic worlds or how rebellion's going to work in the future. Because we're reaching that, like, Western civilization is kind of reaching that 1984 Brave New World point. You know, actually, the funny thing is the thing that the book that really predicted where we would end up was a book called The Shockwave Rider by John Brunner. Like, you could do a version of that story and just set it in, like, the modern day. Yeah. But I'm starting to think that maybe it is maybe time for fantasy to come back. You know, like really fantastic, like really fantastic worlds. Because we need something to look forward to. Like that's what I think is needed. Something to really look forward to, even if it's just escapism. Because I think we're not living in a time where it feels like we can really affect anything. Whether or not that's true, if we don't believe we can, then, we got no shot. But you look at the world as it is and you just come to the conclusion, oh, what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? Hey, Eliza, how you doing? Yeah, sorry you're still feeling bad. I gotta pull myself up out of the funk. We're gonna be recording some vlogs a little bit later, so this probably won't be a long stream. But I did want to come on and see people. I am a little out of it, so I do have to get some rest before I do the vlog. I've been a little bit worried about like my energy levels lately. It's that I hope I don't have cancer, like kind of shit. But I'm also like, I don't know.